The airlines basically have done that for years. They've cut their airfares, but all the extras cost extra. The hotels are doing the same. You got to pay for breakfast. You don't get it free. Diamond members at Hilton, which I'm a lifetime Diamond member, used to get free breakfast. A lot of times they don't. They don't serve it anymore. They don't give you the free coffee. They make you take it with breakfast, and they charge for it. Once upon a time, at the Hilton Garden Inn and the DoubleTree, Diamond members, breakfast is included. Not anymore. But they do give you a credit. It's like a $10 credit, okay? A $10 credit towards a $15 breakfast. So it's not free, it's reduced. Reduced cost, reduced price. Okay, fine. They're saving a little bit more money there. What other changes? Here in San Diego, a lot more changes than other places. In fact, here in San Diego, the biggest changes I've seen with the hotels is added security. And I think they've had to do that because of the great homeless problem that they have here. Last time I was here a couple of years ago, the homeless problem bothered me. It bothered me so much that it basically ruined my stay. They have since made an adjustment. I think I've made an adjustment too. My head's in a better place as far as just accepting the way things are. But they've added a lot of security in the hotels, not only with security guards, but everything is gated. Everything is under lock and key. Everything is roped off. So the homeless can't sleep on the benches in front of the hotel. They can't sleep on the little couch that you wait for with the shuttle bus. They can't come in and use the bathrooms because you got to have a key to get into the hotel, and you have to use that same key to get into the bathroom. So even if they do sneak in, they can't get into the bathroom unless they have a hotel key. That discourages them from being around because if they can't sleep anywhere, if they can't use the bathroom, they're going to go someplace else. Okay? So in a passive way, they've improved things. And hats off to them for doing that. Hats off to them for figuring a way around that mess. The business climate. Business climate is very strong. We've had industry changes in my business. Again, the day job, I'm an industrial salesperson. And business has changed. It changes because of the climate, the materials used in manufacturing products, which requires my products to change. But luckily, through testing and evaluation, we've been able to change our products to adapt to changes in the industry. We educate the customer, we provide him a service, and he appreciates that, and they buy from us. So business is actually quite good. It's like anything else, any other business model. It doesn't matter if you're in hospitality, manufacturing, other service industries, consulting, financial. If you provide a product or service that benefits the customer, your business is going to be good. And the same applies here. COVID restrictions. COVID restrictions have been different every place I've been, the 4 places that I've been. Phoenix, LA, San Diego, Tijuana. And I'll start with Phoenix because that's the first place I went. In Phoenix, masks and social distancing basically were, you had to do this everywhere. The signs in the hotel said you needed to wear a mask. Most people did, some did not. I did, except if I was just going down early in the morning to check things out. I didn't because I noticed that there was no one else down there, and the staff weren't wearing masks. Okay, if the staff's not wearing a mask, they're not going to ask me to. But for the most part, they ask you to, and I did. It was very basic, good common sense stuff. Los Angeles now, a completely different story. Los Angeles, stupid rules. I'll just refer to them as stupid rules is what they have there. An example, when you land in Los Angeles, There's a big sign that says, okay, if you're landing in Los Angeles, you need to fill out a form and register online about your travel history and plans while in the city of Los Angeles. It's a sign with a website that's a block and a half long. Nobody does it. I didn't even look into it. I looked at that and thought, I'm not doing that. There's no penalty for doing it, for not doing it. And like I said, the website was, a block and a half long. I'm not going to remember that. They don't give you a document. They just say, hey, you got to do this. But nobody does. When visiting customers in Los Angeles, you have to fill out a document, and this is a government-mandated document that businesses who accept vendors have to fill out. You have to fill out a document stating, get this, if you've been out of the metro LA area recently, you have quarantined for 14 days before venturing out in public. I'm going to repeat that. You have to sign a document saying, yes, if I've been out of metro Los Angeles, and that's LA County, Ventura County, San Bernardino County, Orange County, that area. If you've been outside of that area, which of course I have, I just flew in, and you have to say, yes, when I flew in, when I came in, I quarantined for 14 days, and you sign on the dotted line. Well, I did because that's what the customer asked me to do. I did. He didn't ask any questions. He put the form in the box, and I saw the customer just fine with a mask, which again is just fine. That's their rules. But I'm not quarantining for 14 days if I've been out of the Los Angeles metropolitan area. You think to yourself, well, Strong, I thought you were a rule follower. I thought you paid attention to the rules and the laws. Well, nobody's following that stupid mandate, and it's worthless, and it just angers people. Case in point, Gil Garcetti, the mayor of Los Angeles, recently traveled to the Climate Change Summit in Glasgow, Scotland. When he came back, he didn't quarantine. Oh, and by the way, he tested positive for COVID-19. That's why people thumb their noses at government, okay? Because of stupid rules like that. The stupid governor enacts a stupid rule and then doesn't follow it. So nobody else does either. I will digress about Los Angeles because I only spent 2 days there. And then I got to come to San Diego. San Diego, America's finest city, shines again. Their policy, you don't have to fill out a dopey form. You don't have to quarantine because you've left their metropolitan area. They do ask that you wear a mask if you've not been vaccinated. In fact, masks are optional for vaccinated people everywhere. In fact, they're optional for people in most places. Many places ask that, hey, if you're not vaccinated, we ask that you wear a mask. If you are vaccinated, you don't have to if you don't want to. And that's even indoors. However, indoors in San Diego is not like indoors in other areas. Every place is wide open. Sliding glass doors, sliding windows everywhere. The hotels, the restaurants have the doors wide open, sliding windows wide open. So basically, even though you're indoors, you're kind of outdoors because there's a nice cross breeze going through every place. Okay? So even if you're indoors, you're kind of outdoors. But the temperature here ranges between 55 and 70 degrees. So you can just keep windows and doors open all the time. It doesn't rain very often. The sun's out most of the time, except at nighttime. Bottom line is, San Diego implements very reasonable rules versus Los Angeles, which are stupid. And by the way, San Diego COVID rate, same as Los Angeles COVID rate. So think about it. Why would you just anger the populace for no better results? Tijuana, it was kind of a cross between LA and San Diego, but I get it. Everyone had to wear a mask everywhere. Your temperature was taken as you entered a building. But Tijuana is more of a jam-packed city. You're going into places of business. You have a lot of people in and out of that business, so I get that. They take your temperature, make sure you weren't running a fever. If you're sick or something, they ask that you not come in. So again, lots of precautions, but reasonable. No mandate they had in Tijuana I found to be unreasonable. Immigration. When you go through Tijuana, as a businessman, it's not like going as a tourist. You got to stop by immigration and fill out paperwork because you're going into a foreign country to do business. That's the way it always is, the way it always has been. Where it's different is in that normally you go into to the immigration office, you show them your passport, they give you a form, you fill out that form, they look it over, they stamp it, they give you your stub, and then you have to give that stub to every business that you visit so they can document that you were there doing business with them. It's just a tracking system that they've had forever. Usually there's 4, 5, 6, 10 businessmen waiting in line to go into Tijuana. Not this time. I was the only businessman. In fact, I was the only person in this small room that had about 150 people in it. That was from the U.S. The rest of them were Central American refugees. And when I walked into that immigration office with wall-to-wall Central American refugees in this place, I was glad I had a KN95 mask, and I kept that mask on the whole time. In a couple of days, I will be tested for COVID-19 because I know I was exposed. I mean, I assume I was. I was in that immigration office for 20 minutes with people coughing and hacking who had just traveled from Central America. So at least one of those people had to have COVID-19. Now, I never got within 6 feet of any of them. Well, 5 feet anyway. But again, it was quite the experience. I looked at that line. I thought, I'm going to be here for hours. And I almost turned around and left. And then somebody noticed me and thought, okay, this guy's not with the rest of them. Because these were refugees that they were processing. And many of them did not even speak Spanish. I guess they spoke indigenous languages. I don't know. But somebody saw me. They motioned me over. They processed me. They got me in and out fairly quickly. It was quite evident I was not a Central American refugee. But when I talked to my customers in Tijuana, and I mentioned to them all the refugees at the border, they rolled their eyes and said, yeah, this is a big problem in Tijuana. He said, we have lots and lots and lots of refugees from Central America and South America coming into our country. And I said, so that they come here waiting to get into the United States? And they said some of them, but many of them no. Basically, they said the refugee problem is because they're fleeing Central America and some countries in South America, particularly Venezuela, because they want to come to Tijuana. They don't want to go to the United States. They want to come to Tijuana. Tijuana is a growing, bustling city of 2.1 million people. There's lots of jobs in Tijuana, and everybody speaks Spanish. And if you think about it, most of these people fleeing these Central American countries flee the countries because they don't have any money, they don't have any jobs, and the country's ran by a dictator or a cartel. It's not safe. So coming to Tijuana is a big upgrade for these people. They can find work, they can live in a relatively safe environment, especially compared to where they came from, and they don't have to learn a foreign language. I mean, many of these people are uneducated. They've never been to school. They're not going to learn a foreign language. They want to speak Spanish because that's what they understand. And Tijuana has been this for a long, long time. In 1980, Tijuana's population was 460,000 people. Now, 2.1 million. So, what is that? Almost a 5 times multiplication in the last 30 years. Huge, huge difference. So all the refugees don't want to come to the U.S. Some want to come just to stay in Tijuana. Well, when that was done, I had to wait in the immigration line, and since that border was recently reopened, the immigration line, which used to be about 10 or 15 minutes long, going back in the U.S., was over an hour. Waited in that line. with my mask, with social distancing, got back in the U.S., and then and the vacation could start. And we were able to go